Join us. Separated, Sentinel wins. But united, we cannot be defeated.
And now our very final video for this pre-show is another episode of our wow moments comparing the craziest and coolest clips from you, our players.
Anyone else want to try to do better than that?
Oi, estás bem? Meu puto, como é que é? Essa câmera está a bombar? Estás a ver bem, meu? Estou a receber aqui informação que está a haver erros de transmissão. Para a definição mais rápida.
If you also have amazing gameplay segments you captured from our games, spread the joy and submit them on the link displayed on your screen right now. All right, guys, it is time for us to wrap up this pre-show.
Don't forget to stay tuned for our post-show featuring a deep dive into the world of Assassin's
Está
Creed.
melhor agora?
Thanks a lot for watching this pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
Isto agora está cheio de calor, cansado, cheio de sono.
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft Forward. Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Join us.
Fica mais rico.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Magid. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production.
Aparentemente agora está a bombar bem, não está?
I'm
acho que
Yusuf,
sim.
but there's
Deve
no
sim.
time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DeadSec are getting into.
Ok. Watch Dogs Legion. O que é que vem aqui?
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal suspected to have links with the terrorist group DeadSec, whose markings were dangerous.
Ok, não é gameplay.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner. Then they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out because I was not a protester.
Como é que é Henrique? Tão bem?
Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out because I was not a journalist.
Depois fecha a porta.
And then they came for street artists, but I did not speak out
Já está outra vez a falhar o raio da transmissão.
because I am not a street artist.
Esta lá tem bom aspecto, tem. Em cima do drone. Em cima do drone nem abre nada a dar-se. Já foste. Bem, mas o gajo está protegido pelo Covid, já tem a máscara. Já foste. Ah, está muito fixe.
And I realised that eventually they'd come for me, and there would be no one left to speak for me.
Hã? Ah, aquele típico sotaque londrino, meu, britânico. Fake taxi. Aqui a bombar.
After a long night, London
Snyder Cut 2021. Yep.
Well. Welcome to the Resistance. There's a welcome gift for our new
Esta porcaria. Estou a passar com este stream.
Costume party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him. The
Pois,
authorities
exato.
advise all residents.
Exato. Reclaim your future. Está fixe, está fixe.
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to
Se
you.
eu jogar este jogo, vou só ter uma equipa só de velhotes. Só velhotes. Só velhotes.
What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Esta transmissão está tão mal.
Our London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up. And one night to tear it all down.
Não, esquece. Isto não vai dar isto. Tenho a transmissão, a net.
But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone. Perfect for gate crashing, when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Enfim. Estou estragado com isto.
Jesus Christ, what is that thing? Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered. Amy is a drone expert.
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Não dá a saber porque é que isto mudou as definições, mas pronto.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aims, she fires, she hits.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
Yeah, o gajo estava a matar com... Era uma pistola de pregos.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the defense minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
Tive que mudar aqui as definições. Agora já está melhor.
Streets, illegals threatening our families. The police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Toma! Vamos dar enxerto da porrada.
He does have a slight drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional. It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
Pois.
Some might even call him an artist.
Okay. Estou já no bico lá do sítio.
Here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero. So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance. It's time to take back London.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city, teeming with unique locales and characters, has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2, and there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So. I was
White
fortunate
cats.
enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to
White.
were from London. So
Okay,
no matter
okay,
where
yeah.
I dropped them in the city, they'd go, "Oh my God, this feels like Camden. This feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster." When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Three, two, one, brawl!
Epá, não estou a gostar deste jogo.
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
Ok, vamos lá ver o que vai sair daqui. Foreigners, será? Acho que sim, parece. Ok, é mobile, não faço ideia o que é. Hã? Tá. Tive que mudar uma coisa. Isto é o tal. Não é tipo Battle Royale, é tipo o Overwatch da Ubisoft. Isto é o gajo do Tom Clancy. Do Ghost Recon Wildlands. O Sicário.
Contact! Mole chain is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Get back in your cell!
Sam Fisher, isso é que era. Splinter Cell. Muita malta quer um jogo disto, mas a Ubisoft apenas já estas coisitas assim.
Don't make me regret this.
É isso ali, Squad. Eu já vi isto. É um jogo mobile.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Porra, os gajos fizeram um grande trabalho com este. Com este jogo. Fizeram
In
mesmo.
December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision,
creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
Oh my god! I got it! I got it!
This is such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six now, game being stronger than ever, more players today than we had in the past, it means the world to us.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community.
Este jogo
we grow stronger.
tornou-se uma coisa estrondosa.
There is no sequel plan, and we're here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Lá está, é um jogo que não precisa de sequelas e que está a ser bem desenvolvido. Apenas precisa ter uma equipa dedicada que gosta daquilo que está a fazer.
Tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong,
Porra,
we're just getting started.
Nunca joguei, já tive curiosidade, mas aparentemente a learning curve é enorme para isto.
Thank you.
É daqueles jogos que um gajo tem que precisar de muito tempo aqui para jogar.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Okay.
Hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are.
Ah, gostei ali da referência. Até estava ali com uma referência das vacas com óculos da realidade virtual. Então agora está a ser agora feito na Rússia a experiência.
They gave everyone a way out. The Hyperscape. In the Hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Sim. Isto é basicamente um Fortnite meets não sei o quê. É Battle Royale. Se for bom, a malta vai aderir, tal como está no Call of Duty do Warzone. Mas tenho as minhas.
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape.
Yeah, Ready Player One.
And we have to find it.
Miss qualquer coisa.
Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out.
Não, amigo Henrique, agora estamos a mostrar Hyperscape. É o novo Battle Royale da Ubisoft.
To the edge of the future. To the Hyperscape.
Não deve ser mau, não deve ser mau.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at
O Watch Dogs está engraçado.
For me, what's exciting is we started building
it
from scratch.
Watch Dogs está com piada.
Adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city.
Aquela cadela hoje não se cala. Hoje está impossível.
Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal.
Desaperta a camisa, pelo amor de Deus. Não é?
We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with.
Okay.
And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes there's going to be a vote and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening.
Influenciar como o jogo está a decorrer.
So for me it's really exciting because we are launching the open beta and so it's going to be available for free to play.
Então, a ver, a malta vai tirar toda a gravidade ao jogo e ninguém consegue fazer o que quer que seja lá.
Players, all the streamers and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
Watch and learn how it's done. Perfecto.
Showtime.
That's mine.
Ok, a malta apanha power-ups, certo?
Let's show them what I'm made of.
Ready Player One versus meets Overwatch.
Ah, yeah, Ready Player One meets Overwatch, sim.
Watch closely.
É, se pudesses construir era um pouco mais.
Fogo, já, felizmente não dá para construir nada. Ok, dá para construir uma barreira ali. Não sei. Ah, tá fixe, parece estar engraçado. De PC Open Beta não, está disponível para PC. Eu até tentava, mas podia sacar, mas quando sacasse já tinha acabado a beta.
Gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
Ana Maria Musca.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in-game, you understand what their motivations
Mas será que tem uma Abby? Se não tiver uma Abby, vão ser acusados de terem mais alguma coisa.
This is our default base.
Calma, Henrique, FPS é necessário.
Everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this outfit? Would this person enjoy?
Vai acabar o Sekiro pela oitava vez.
Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
Estou muito excitado em vê-los nas mãos das pessoas. Soa tão mal.
Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer from Xbox.
Oh, gosto de Xbox.
With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery.
Watch Dogs Lesão.
So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before.
Epá, digam que disserem do Ubisoft, os jogos às vezes são bocado... Mas os mapas,
that continues to drive our industry forward.
Nada a
I'm
apontar.
a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
Bem, tecnicamente já quase toda a gente viu.
Alright, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
Agora vamos ao Assassin's Creed.
And I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Isso é que é,
So
isso
a
é que
couple
eu acho
of
que é.
weeks ago we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring.
Yeah, mas se vocês não variarem,
we found that
a malta
they were not mindless
corre o risco
barbarians.
de ficar outra vez bocado farta.
Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the
Human
real
motivations.
story about
Exato,
Vikings
pilhar e
and kind
violar
of separate
e
ourselves from the myths
escravizar.
and the
Muito
folklore
humanos.
is really something that drove us to make this game.
Ok, então vá.
The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game.
E a malta agora quer é isto.
Personal adventure, you know, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the
Epá,
game.
nem ao
You have to
Henrique.
leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't
Todos
live
os
in
jogos
Norway
precisam de um
anymore.
bom
There's too
marketing,
much
certo?
political
Todos. Não há um
pressure,
jogo que
no
não precise de um
resources
bom
available.
marketing. Mas o problema, no caso dos Assassin's Creed, a coisa boa que tem é
Obviously, in
que
England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people,
é muito
and
livre.
they don't really
Acho que é
want
o
to
único
there.
jogo
So
do
you will
Ubisoft
have
que
to
tem
fight your
uma
way
identidade
there,
própria.
kind of
Esse e o
build
Rainbow
your
Six.
own
O resto,
settlement and see your clan prosper.
muito copy-paste, são muito semelhantes. Muito mesmo.
Vikings were brutal warriors.
Agora vamos ver o que é que vem daí. Temos que ver o que é que vem agora daqui. Vai ser certamente igual
And the fact
ou
that
parecido
they
ao
were
Odyssey.
mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really
Já
inspired
que é
us
bom
to
jogo.
kind of revamp the fight system to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range
Esta
of
parte foi muito
combat that you
fixe
can
no trailer.
imagine coming from the Vikings.
Hell yeah!
We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Hell yeah! Isto é o que um gajo quer. In-game footage. É isto que um gajo quer.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
Eu adoro os gajos a puxarem o barco com os remos.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship.
Eu acho que este jogo vou jogar com ela. Acho que sim. Já. Ou então se calhar jogam com ela e um com ele. Epá, muito fixe. Toca a pegar fogo. Aquilo.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors,
and
stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools,
Ok, os settlements voltam.
At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map.
Pois,
It will
também
serve
era
as
mais
a
espera que isto
record of the
aparecesse
allies
para
you've
levar
made
nos
and a guide for
barcos e
future
coisas assim.
opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game.
E toma. Bem nas nalgas.
Every archetype offers a unique
Ei,
challenge.
adoro, olha lá o ambiente deste.
Some
Ali
will
as
coordinate
raízes
with
no
their
chão.
allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors.
Sério, os gajos tiram os
To
corpos.
face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with a Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off.
Isto já tinha visto. Isto é muito bom.
Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you see fit and become a legendary Viking warrior.
Epá, está muito bruto.
All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields.
Jogar com dois escudos sem a sua piada. Eish!
Not all situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt.
Eles voltaram a ter o sistema de social stealth.
Avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds and slip past watchful eyes. An unseen hunter among the people.
Isto é fixe. Why does it look...
Já tínhamos saudades de uma...
eu estou a ver aqui os comentários no site do Ubisoft. Why does it look so bad? Sério? O gameplay é mau?
Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify.
Ok, animais míticos como no Odyssey.
Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement.
Parece que estou a ver o God of War.
The more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Epá, está muito bom, meu. Pelo menos eu estou a gostar. Mas eu sou suspeito porque eu adoro Assassin's Creed. É o meu franchise favorito.
Will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Muito fixe.
Today we fight for your land, and tomorrow we rebuild.
For Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise, with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses.
Henrique, é mesmo isso, meu. Decapitação é bonito. Decapitação, desmembramento. Tão bom, meu. Este está... promete, meu. Epá, e ela está brutal. Ela está fantástica, meu. É a Eivor. Está muito fixe. Só é pena o rei da Ubisoft não manda as edições colecionadoras para Portugal. E confirma-se a data de lançamento dia 17 de novembro, o que vai ser terrível porque a Ubisoft vai estar em confronto direto com o Cyberpunk 2077, que é lançado no dia 19 de novembro.
Xbox One, PS4,
Não é lá muito inteligente manter esta data, honestamente.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
Portanto, eu tenho que escolher Cyberpunk ou Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I hope you will have enjoyed
Não há. Não há.
and that you will love playing this
Nem eu
te deixo escolher.
Logicamente que eu vou comprar os Just Dance.
delivering an ambitious, bold and creative lineup of games.
No, Assassin's Creed Valhalla all the way. Fogo.
In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft forward to
Ai não, a Cassandra não é mais badass que esta, oh Henrique. Não, nem pouco mais ou menos. Desculpa lá, eu não sou da mesma opinião.
one more thing to share with you.
Aquela pintura que ali a Eivor tem, eu acho que eles estão fantásticos. Tanto o Eivor mais como a feminina, acho que estão brutais. Este aqui é Skull and Bones? Ah não, não é nada. Eu não prestei atenção ao que eles estavam a dizer. Isto é ser Far Cry, não? Ah não, eles estão a mostrar um bocado de tudo. A Ubisoft também tem que mudar o motor de jogo para o Assassin's Creed. Eles usam mesmo o motor de jogo que usaram no Unity. Portanto já tivemos Syndicate, já tivemos Origins, Odyssey, já são muitos anos. Sara Garcia. Será portuguesa? Reconstruir el paraíso. Far Cry 6. Epá, o Cyberpunk, honestamente, vai ser brutal. Acho que vai ser um dos candidatos a jogo do ano, sem sombra de dúvida. Embora queremos quer não, acho que o jogo do ano já está atribuído. No entanto, eu, Cyberpunk, vou tentar apenas ter duas pernas no meu boneco. Uma ter assim um membro grande o suficiente para servir de perna. Ok, posso customizar? Dá para customizar, sabias? O tamanho do pirulau.
Não estás a querer compensar em alguma coisa, não?
Não, não estou a querer compensar em nada, mas posso querer. Um homem nunca está satisfeito.
É como as gajas com as mamas.
Far Cry 6. Vamos lá ver aqui o trailer. Será este o Vass do Far Cry 3?
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
É ele. Ele chama-se Diego.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Parenting level.
The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now.
Não escorregues, puto. Se escorregas vai ser bonito.
I am El Presidente, which means that someday you
dica, que dica.
will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, Even if you want what's best for them, if you only want
Passo
to
a
save
passo.
them from themselves.
Vai obrigar ao puto a tirar a granada por meio da população.
É mais
Everything
provável.
you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
Tá visto que este homem. Ai, que já ias. Já fazias um favor ao povo. Muito fixe. Este gajo também é bom ator, pá. Eu nunca me lembro do nome dele, mas já vi uns quantos filmes com ele. Este gajo já é muito bom ator.
Evil. A monster. I'll give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
Porra.
You understand now? Brilliant.
Bum! Epá, bom trailer, sim senhor, eu gostei. 18 de Fevereiro de 2021. Sim senhora, epá. Agora vamos ver, esperemos é que o jogo seja bom, não é?
Nunca jogaste Far Cry?
Não, nunca joguei Far Cry.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
A seguir agora vai haver
Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed,
show.
the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back
Epá,
later this year with
Assassin's
another
Creed Valhalla
Ubisoft
tá com
Forward
muito bom
filled with
aspecto.
tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
O que é que vai sair daqui? Yeah. E toma, x-kebab.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf Magid, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Hey,
we're going to take a deep dive
Don't
into
fish.
about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone.
Então vamos
this
ter
is
meia
Phil
hora de
Valhalla,
Assassin's Creed
otherwise
Valhalla
known as
agora.
Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, the Viking Raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle
Sim,
to
epá,
go and take down Rued.
Sei muito pouco de Far Cry.
So who exactly is Rued?
Sempre que ouvi falar, toda a gente sempre me falou bem dos vilões do Far Cry, exceto acho que foi os do New Dawn.
At the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before. Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to be to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time and the character.
Yeah, eu acho que este jogo vou jogá-lo 2 vezes. Certeza absoluta que vou uma vez com ela e uma vez com ele.
Oswald. He lives.
Oswald Cobblepot?
Eivor!
That's you! Shut your ass, twig spine!
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him!
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies, they can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Exato, isto é como no Odyssey, não quero escolher direito, temos os ataques que podemos fazer, os ataques
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
É uma boss fight.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also this wolf, right?
Here, one of the first strategies is to eliminate the wolf first. Just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the
as execuções deste jogo parecem estar mesmo brutas, meu.
Extra abilities
that come into play if you do eliminate gosta e espera de jogos de vikings.
I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
E ganda bico. E toma.
Only the cold dark of Niflheim awaits you.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Why does they should be roomed, Wolf-kissed? Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this, than all of them.
Do not drag me down to the sewage you wallow in.
We just had Dane fight tooth and nail for a second. You'd throw in with these wastrels? These arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
Alright, so we've
Bem, espero que as pessoas faciais estejam um bocado melhores. Não é bem ele.
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Rued
to be pessoas faciais estão
you basically have to choose, are you going to go against his wishes or stay true to your nature?
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that,
sim,
I want to
bem,
rewind a little bit, because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Sim, mas nota-se que há aqui ainda coisas que
when
se
coming up to an
uma
assault,
build
it's a game
mais
of numbers.
antiga.
Eivor can go into pretty much any location
Isto ainda faltam 4 meses para o lançamento do jogo.
eliminating
Não há muita
some
coisa
of
que se faz em
the
4
assets,
meses.
which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there.
Por exemplo, no Assassin's Creed 1
you still need a army.
só houve side missions
going around the countryside
por
and raising what we
5
call
dias
a
antes do
third,
jogo
which
ser
is
lançado.
the men and the women of the
Porque o
territory
filho do
who come
presidente
up
da
and fight
Ubisoft
in the
acabou o
name of
jogo
the king.
e
So
disse,
here,
então e agora, o que é que eu tenho
Eivor's
para
going
fazer?
around and try and convince people to fight in the name of
E ele
Oswald,
decidiu,
to
ok, vamos
finally
fazer
take
side
down the
missions
oppressor
para
that is Rued.
encher o jogo mais um bocado.
Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Essa tem ar muito mais fierce.
Pretty words, Dane.
Yeah. Este é um ar mais badass do que a
So
Cassandra.
we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are
A Cassandra,
allies
tu olhavas e tu
that
dizes,
add
ei,
to our
eu
cause,
pinava
but
isto.
first
Esta
we
tu
need
dizes,
to do them a
ela
favor, is
pinava-me.
that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory. So I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope, and so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a
Olha lá, a
nearby
eliminação deste jogo está linda, meu.
township, basically taking it back from
Hashtag
people
not
and
Assassin's
showing
Creed,
that
tá, malta a
there's
dizer, meu,
reason to
passem
continue
à frente.
fighting
Eu também
and
prefiro
then get them on
mapas
your side.
urbanos, mas os jogos também têm que variar um bocado. Odin's sight, you can highlight nearby enemies. Ok. Ainda não vimos, foi o corvo. Ainda não mostraram nada. Tumbo.
When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system, you have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world.
Ok, então não vamos ter corvo. Não vamos ter companheiro.
It'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows.
Eles voltaram a fazer a cena.
That are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and
touch. Que vinha nos antigos jogos.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending on what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose. I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting
acho que esta é muito mais barata que a
Cassandra. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world. So again, to promote exploration and discovery, as you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations with the different quests in the game.
Ok, para ganharmos skills temos que explorar o jogo para encontrar as skills.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do.
Eu também esperava que tivéssemos o corvo de Odin, por exemplo, como companheiro, mas por um lado também é bom termos de volta o sistema antigo do jogo. Pessoalmente eu não me chatei nada de ter o sistema antigo. Gosto muito de ter os animais, gostava bem. Mas também não se perde nada.
Eivor decided to let him live. Ruud is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation.
Uma coisa que
obviously all of these decisions come into play later on in the game. So we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Ruud.
A lâmina nem sequer é por baixo, é por cima.
What exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories.
Eu espero que eles, não me importo com isto, mas espero que eles acabem com estas.
Obviously, if you want to set up a new
com isto agora. Espero que acabem com isto.
So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of.
Eu acho que aquela é um bocadinho mais alta.
So earlier on to the territory.
Não, esta não és tu. Não, esta não és tu. Nem sei se é uma ela, honestamente.
Going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Ruud and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
E com uma seta a apontar para os lábios.
We've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Ruud.
Os homens vão encarar isso de outra forma.
So before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the
precisamos de Assassin's Creed
politics and
mais moderno.
And this shows a slightly more
venha ao próximo, seja mais moderno.
So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more.
no Japão feudal, tipo Ghost of Tsushima, mas no sítio, né?
Here, basically,
Mas
like
no
you're
Japão, ou
trying
então
to help a kid with his cat and
dê-nos
ultimately get that cat to sort of
Assassin's
join your
Creed
crew
em Macau.
as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it.
A sério?
Perfect.
Podes ter gato no teu barco? Vou ter gato no barco.
As you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat
Vamos ter
basically
gato no barco.
walking around your longship,
Yep.
keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for a longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you could basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have
Os gajos a subirem a vela.
Yeah,
Okay,
so this is
já
something
passamos.
we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is
Okay,
going
e os
around,
rap battles?
you could decide
Sei que o jogo vai ter,
to have your skull
tipo
sort of sing
rap
a song
battles.
for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
Mas também lembrar bocado o sistema do.
So, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry, where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
Okay, quero ver.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well,
how exactly do you go about
Okay, tá fixe. Tá fixe.
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Sabes o que parece? A nossa desgarrada.
Yeah.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven Clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our
Acho que isto ao fim de 2 ou 3 vezes já.
It's time for a bit more relaxing activity, so we're fishing here.
Não sei porquê.
Yeah, that's it.
Acho que ao fim de 2 ou 3 vezes um gajo está a fazer isto, um gajo fica, oh, man, sério.
So you can actually throw
Mas nós vamos fazer, porque
and go
com certeza
catch
absoluta vai haver um troféu para isto e a malta vai querer platinar. Bem, eu vou querer platinar.
To play into our new health loop where the player will lose health in the world and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some
Sim, que é
supplies. So
dito,
you'll
isto
find
ainda está.
mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here,
Ainda
like,
falta muita coisa.
you can also catch
Eu
some
vi o
fish
gameplay
and
esta
consume that
semana,
to regain some
notava-se que aquilo não
health. We
estava
also
acabado.
will sometimes have it in certain quests, so it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just again take it all in.
E também, honestamente, eu prefiro, mesmo que o jogo já esteja praticamente terminado, prefiro que eles me deem uma coisa menos boa e depois me surpreendam quando o jogo sair do que ao contrário, do que fazerem um downgrade.
You make offerings to it, so it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here, what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering, you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that, like, the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
Continua a ladrar.
And it also showcases like a different
os putos são bué da
the
loucos.
world at the same time. It's not only Eivor, so it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times.
Epá, mas o update de 40 GB do Ghost of Tsushima é diferente. O jogo já está gold, percebe? Já está terminado. O jogo são 50 GB, já vês com um update de 40. Praticamente o jogo
It was
inteiro.
kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can, you know, give them food, give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, "Hey, good luck, on your way."
Yeah, and then this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like, so here we're doing an event, we do it in quests as well, but we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit. Who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can roleplay that a little bit better.
Era fixe era que houvesse histórias diferentes para as duas personagens, assim obrigavam-nos, entre aspas, a jogar os dois, mas também se ambas são canon, não faz sentido também, não faria sentido ter duas histórias diferentes.
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal.
Mas pronto.
You're welcome here anytime, large walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
One of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities. But also for
muito fazia disto no Black Flag, exato, Black Flag e no Assassin's Creed 3. Muito disto
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression, and sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, you know, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter, so we played a lot with puzzle solving. So making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design, to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind
Ok, uma
these locations which
sincronização.
we've crafted. So
Podia haver uma
it gave us a little bit
sincronização.
more time to
Sei
sort
que
of
era.
slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
Aí, olha lá a iluminação, que espetáculo. Está muito louca. Ok.
A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came
Uh-huh.
across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the
Espero que isto seja variado, não estou a dizer que é
it
variado.
permits us
mas
to go
igual,
into a slightly
variado.
more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will, and basically have an awesome boss
Muito
fight
bom.
in the middle of the swamps.
Porra!
And so here the abilities that you see Reagan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning in that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
Ei, está fixe, eu gosto.
Of my father's rage, fill me!
Oi Henrique, adoro, meu. O teu comentário, como teve aquela palavra, ficou retido para revisão. Eu permiti que aparecesse. Hey!
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to
Grande morte, sim senhora.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it is still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on on top of another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
These?
Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and wit. Stack the cairn stones.
A sério? Temos de estar a construir isto?
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there, and so that's yours.
Sim.
Until the
Muita
moment
gente
where
vai...
you come back and you want to build a new one.
Olha, eu vou construir isto, vai ser mesmo a pazeira.
Give that
Digo
to
já.
players to express themselves.
At
Se
this
dá,
point in the demo, we've explored
não vai ser bonita para ser
met
eficaz.
some children, we've broken into a house, we fought a boss, we built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the territory, sort of like mentioned by Oswald, that he's trying to get married with his Dane lady. And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony.
Yeah, tá fixe. Pá,
and
gosto
all the,
da
activities and fun
Tá
times
muito
that come
fixe.
afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is it's a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon culture, smashing those two things together and building
Challenge
bridges.
begins.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
what's a
to
wedding
do
without some
challenge.
archery, right?
So anything can happen in a Viking event, right?
Completamente grave, dá muito bom.
Here you just
Tá
get
fixe.
drunk, shoot some
Gosto.
arrows.
Ah, barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all.
My king.
So here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yeah,
Ok, tu não o mataste, se não o matámos, ele voltou depois para dar cabo do.
So, as we said before, all your
do
decisions
casório.
have consequences.
Capitão.
This is a big one.
I challenge you. I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, you know, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Que foi?
Oswald, gutless Irish swine. I'll slay
Ok, matar o gajo, só deixá-lo viver.
then hang you with your own tongue.
lutar contra ele.
Ah, sim! Isto. Estou a jogar é para andar à porrada.
Differ from our previous fight with him.
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him, and so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And so this is a fight.
O jogo tem jogo. Dá para ter jogos de vida, é jogo do ano. És o maior, tu, meu. É lindo. Mas este começa a achar que vai ser também candidato.
Of course, here, like this decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
Great service. I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
Okay.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on Longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet.
Então ela aqui está a recrutar o moço para o barco.
I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough.
Finalmente.
Thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Bastante. Up next, Hyperscape.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the senior community
Bem,
developer.
pronto, vou ficar por aqui.
And I'm Graham Jennings. I'm the
Obrigado
senior
a
producer
todos
on
os que apareceram.
Hyperscape.
Somos
Hyperscape
poucos, mas
now
somos
is
bons.
open beta phase, so you can go to
É,
uSlide
então,
and download it directly.
eu entretanto vou
So,
mais
a little while
tarde
back, we recorded
recortar
a
aquilo
match
que
for you,
fiz.
so we could walk through it moment to moment, explain what's going
Possivelmente
on
ter
throughout the match of Hyperscape.
alguns reactions, algum reaction video aqui que fiz durante a transmissão. E obrigado pessoal, obrigado Henrique por ter estado aí e tem bebido é jogo do ano, é a frase de destaque.
It looks like Helios,
Então vá,
which is one of the landmarks.
até à próxima, hoje falamos, um abraço.
Like a name above it that tends to be a higher loot area, would you say?
For one of the big yellow letter ones like this one, this is one of the landmarks.